Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I am Casey Venn, your humble host here on Making Games. This is a new segment where I try to help out the beginners and intermediaries. Is that the word? No. Intermediate game developers who basically want to start making some awesome games. We're going to start at the very beginning here, though, so intermediate peoples might want to skip ahead to the later episodes, which should be up hopefully soon. But this episode here is basically going to talk a little bit about where do you begin, where do you start, and this is the question that comes up a lot. In fact, I've been on a chat room lately. I've been frequenting it, and I've gotten asked this question. Well, the question has come up, not directly to me, but a lot of people have been wondering, how do I make games? Or, I really want to make a game. I've got awesome ideas, and they probably do, and they need help figuring out where to start with their ideas, and I really want to kind of help out with that. So, first, let's take a look at what are some of the engines that new developers can use to start to get the hang of game developing. Well, the three major engines that I like, or that I have taken an interest in, are Construct 2, Unity 3D, and GameMaker. I used GameMaker 8, but they do have GameMaker Studio now, and I don't really have much experience with the new GameMaker Studio, so you'll have to forgive me with that. But I am going to take a look at it in this series and try to teach you all a little bit of what goes on in developing for that. I did use 8, and in fact I think you can import your 8 games into the new GameMaker Studio, which is really cool. Maybe we'll do that, and I'll kind of show you some of the differences in the versions, but we may just stick with the simple stuff, start out new. Yeah, I'll probably do that, but anyway, GameMaker, Unity, and Construct 2, which Construct 2, I gotta tell you now, I have not had much experience, if any, with that engine. I think it's a 2D HTML5, or it might be a Flash game development software. I think it's a Flash game. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please don't hate me. But anyway, Unity 3D, as you might guess, is a 3D engine. It can also do 2D games. Any engine that is three-dimensional can do 2D games. It's kind of easy to switch back and forth between 2D and 3D in Unity. With GameMaker, it is 2D. You can do 3D, but it's locked in the free version. In fact, I should mention some of the free versus paid version differences here. Unity 3D, some of the image effects, some of the assets that they've got pre-built in, like the camera effects, and maybe some render textures, stuff like that. That's all locked until you purchase the free version, or the paid version, not the free version. But you do get a lot of stuff that comes with the free version in Unity. GameMaker, it limits the number of objects that you can use. You cannot do 3D with GameMaker if you do not have the pro version, if you don't have the paid version. Construct, I'm pretty sure it limits some of the functions that you can use. I'm not really positive. Again, I haven't used it that much. I've kind of taken a look at it, kind of taken a glance at it. I might do something here and there with it, but really, Construct I'm not familiar with yet. Anyway, so GameMaker, for the coding language, honestly, it's kind of simple. They use what's called GML. And GML is it's the built-in language, and honestly, if you go from GML, if you learn the GML coding, and then you go to Unity, which is what I did, it's kind of easy to jump into Unity after seeing the GML and kind of getting a feel for, okay, this is how coding works. If you've never coded before, I'd take a look at GML, because they do have a lot of descriptions in their tutorial, or not their tutorial, but their README, their contents, their help guide. It's got a lot of information in there to kind of help you see where you're going. I know Unity 3D has a lot of stuff too, like their API script stuff on their website. Unity does have a lot of that. However, it can be a little bit overwhelming if you just jump into 3 dimensions and you're like, I don't even know where to begin. What is X, Y, and Z? I don't know what X, Y, and Z is. So yeah, you got to kind of get used to being in the space, if that makes any sense. You got to kind of get your feel for 3 dimensions, and if you can't get your feel for 3 dimensions, maybe try 2 dimensions. So if you try out Unity, it is free, or at least it has a free version. Try out Unity, see if you like it. If not, jump over to Game Maker. No harm, no foul. Or you can do Construct, whatever you feel like. But yeah, I went from Game Maker to Unity, and I am saying a lot in this video. But Game Maker to Unity is what I did, and I really like it. I really liked learning that way, mostly because I had no coding experiencing and I was extremely overwhelmed. I was like, I don't even know where to begin. And then I started looking at the help file for Game Maker for the GML, and I was like, oh, okay, I see. So if I do brackets, this equals that, and then kind of got a feel for that. And then when I jumped over to Unity, I was just like, hey, I got this. I saw the function update, and I was like, hey, that's like Game Maker when it has the on every frame, or shoot, I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, it's kind of easier to jump that way, or it was for me. Some people might find it that works for them. I'm trying to think of what else I can add here. Oh, some tips for indie game developers. Start small. Start small. Make sure you can finish the project. Everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people I meet, they're like, hey, I want to make an MMO. Teach me how to make an MMO. You're not going to make an MMO. Your first game is not going to be a massively online playing anything. In fact, when you jump into multiplayer games, you're going to find it hard to even do that. So no MMOs, start small, don't get discouraged. That's the point with making small games. Do not get discouraged when making the games. Make games that are really small. Make a side-scrolling shooter, which is probably what we're going to do in the next episodes, is start looking at side-scrolling shooters, vertical or horizontal, just to kind of introduce yourself to it and feel good when you get the small victories. If you go for an MMO, you're going to screw up a lot, and every time you do, it's going to feel like crap. You're going to think, man, this is hard. I can't do this. But you can do it. You are just not at that level. MMOs take a lot of time and a lot of money to develop, even for big companies. Blizzard spends a ton of money running their servers and a ton of time getting all the assets that they need for the game. It is no simple feat, and you're not going to be able to do it. I was not able to do it. I'm still not able to do it. I'm not at that level where I'm especially not alone. Unless you have a big team like something like Blizzard or some of these smaller indie dev teams, they have a lot of people on their team, and that's really what pulls them through. They've got to have that time, that money, and that effort to put in, and one person can't do it, especially not a new person to game developing. So yeah, start small and cherish every victory. Make a small game, post it up on GameJolt.com. If you haven't heard of GameJolt, it's an amazing place. Go put your crummy little games up there. That's what I'm doing. Blame is my crummy little game. This is my first game I've ever developed, and hey, I put it up on Blame. People are giving me feedback for it. I know there's a lot of mistakes in it, but hey, you learn from that. Cherish all the victories and all the defeats. Learn from them. Use that to pick yourself back up. That's a really big, important step there, is to know that every defeat is just another way of learning how to go about making games. And I'm trying to think of anything else I've missed, but no, I do believe that's all. Start small. Game Maker, Construct 2, and Unity, those are good engines to go look out for. So yeah, go check those out and join me in the next episode of Making Games, where we will probably take a look at game design and what we're going to be doing next. I'll probably give you guys a little bit of information. We'll probably jump in with something small and we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Show me some love below, and I'm Casey Dio Venn, and I am out of here.
found a new age, a new topic. I'ma break the speaker box when I rock it, coming straight from that underground nutrient toxic. Got a handful of smokes, fumes noxious. Can you breathe in and let your lungs out? Walking charity, always got your hands